Hello, what's up, and welcome back to the Game Cafe Premier Challenge held in Independence, Missouri. My name is Leonard Kraft, and I'm going to be commentating the Premier Challenge match today, this round 2 match between Josh Adams and Ethan Simpson. Unfortunately, we didn't have a commentator, available during the Premier Challenge. Drew Novak was kind enough to commentate for us during the midseason, but he ended up having to go for the Premier Challenge, so we were just able to record the match. But luckily, we can talk about the plays that were made here in this round 2. So this is a best of 1 Premier Challenge, and we see the teams on the screen here. We have Dialga, Tapu, Lele, Kyogre, Kartana, Tornadus, and Incineroar versus Ethan's Lugia, Kyogre, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Tapu, Koko, and Gengar. So Ethan is using the same team in the Premier Challenge as he was in the Mid-Season Showdown, or at least the same 6 Pokemon. And Josh is actually using a team that I used in Sun Series, which was very fun for me. The Tapu, Lele, and Psychic Seed, Dialga, Core, set up Trick Room, and do a lot of damage. The biggest Pokemon on Ethan's side that would be problematic for that is the Amoonguss. When I was using this team in Sun Series, I really hated fighting Amoonguss with this squad. Tornadus is really good against it. You could use Priority Taunt and Hurricane, but it doesn't really work that well with your Tapu Lele, and so it's kind of awkward in that respect. Unfortunately, all day we had some technical difficulties, and so we'll be right back. We do see the Tapu, Koko, and Amoonguss leads against Tapu Lele, or not leads, I suppose. It looks like Trick Room got set up because the Amoonguss just went for a Spore there, and it moved first. And we do see the Earth Power from Dialga into the Tapu, Koko. This isn't a Assault Vest Tapu, Koko, so it only takes about half damage from that, so that's not too much. Tapu, Koko likely to Volt Switch out here. It's just something that can deal a little bit more damage. Actually, you just see the Nature's Madness, but it misses onto the Dialga. That's kind of an important miss. Dialga is a really bulky Pokemon, especially with the Psychic Seed. It can take special hits phenomenally well. Kyogre almost becomes a joke to Dialga, especially with Thunder on Dialga. But Amoonguss here is in a really good spot. It looks like Ethan played cleverly with his Amoonguss in order to get it in Trick Room at the same time that Josh said it, perhaps switching in the Amoonguss on the turn that Dialga went for Trick Room. I'm not quite sure of the complete state of this game, but yeah, we'll see what ended up happening here. The Tapu Koko does go for the Wild Charge into the Tapu Lele, so that doesn't do very much damage because there was no Psychic Terrain, and because Assault Vest Tapu Koko naturally doesn't invest very much into its bulk. So likely Amoonguss is Clear Smog, if it is carrying Clear Smog, which they normally do. Will not be knocking out Tapu Lele anytime soon here. If the Amoonguss was Super Citrus Berry in the Mid-Season Showdown, so that means if a Clear Smog lands into the Tapu Lele and fails to knock it out, a Side Shock could knock out the Amoonguss in return, which would be very important. But nevertheless, there's a lot of Trick Room turns burned. We saw the Amoonguss go for Spore twice, and if Josh doesn't do something about it, it's just going to keep clicking Spore. We see that it was turn 4, so likely the 4th turn of Trick Room, so this is either the last turn of Trick Room or second to last. We do see a second Spore into the Dialga, just covering for a random switch, saying, hey, you know, my Clear Smog isn't going to do that much to Tapu Lele anyway. If you wake up, you're probably going to throw an attack at my Amoonguss. I'm just going to Wild Charge, knock out your Tapu Lele. So getting a little bit lucky there with the sleep turns. Each of Josh's Pokemon could have woken up immediately, but they didn't, and so that's good for Ethan. His Pokemon are in a good spot here. We see that Ethan has already lost one of his Pokemon, so perhaps... I really don't know. I don't know how the start of this game started. We do see the Incineroar come in. So Incineroar is a great Pokemon to put in here in normal cases. So it weakens the Tapu Koko's attack even further. So Wild Charge will do negligible damage to the Incineroar, but at this point, Tapu Koko is going to be going for Nature's Madnesses. But it looks like Trick Room is still up. With Trick Room still being up, that means that a Spore into the Incineroar is absolutely free. Incineroar will be able to start burning its turns of sleep, which is good. But we actually see Incineroar just switch out. So Incineroar instead switching out into the Kyogre. So applying an extra Intimidate on the Kyogre means that I bet a Wild Charge will not 2-hit KO this Kyogre. So he might be... I imagine that Josh will be hard-pressed to actually wake up fast enough. We don't know what Ethan's last Pokemon in the back is, but we do see the Dialga wake up. It goes for a Thunder, perhaps trying to catch a hard switch to Kyogre here, but that fails to knock out the Tapu Koko. Not getting that knockout, I think, is really huge. We do see the Nature's Madness go into the Dialga and hit that. Probably if it is the Kyogre in the back, which based on how Josh was playing, that seems to be the most reasonable play. You're trying to use Thunder there to cover for the Kyogre switching in, because you can go, for example, like a Spore play into Incineroar, switch into your Kyogre, then go for Water Spout, knock out the Incineroar, and reapply Spore on Dialga or Rage Powder. So this Amoonguss is still doing quite a bit of work. The Kyogre on this team that I recommended to Josh was to have a Z move on it, so that means he's not able to have access to that Z move either. The Dialga here can go pretty safely for, you can go for a Flash Cannon, or I think another Thunder should knock out Tapu Koko pretty reliably. It might actually not be that bad of an idea to throw a Thunder at the Amoonguss and just hope for a full para. It looks like it's going to be tough to break through this Amoonguss as it is. We actually see that Josh either timed out or intentionally timed out. Kyogre, it looks like, attempted to protect there. As we see the Wild Charge go into the Kyogre, that's not going to do half. Yeah, it doesn't do half because of at least that one Intimidate, and because there's no electric terrain, potentially there's another Intimidate on there. We do see the Flash Cannon into the Amoonguss, so doing the most damage that he could that turn. It does some damage to Amoonguss, not very much. And we also see the Grass Knot land into the Kyogre. So a really good Grass Knot that actually ends up knocking out the Kyogre. That's kind of an unfortunate critical hit. In some ways. In other ways, you do get your Incineroar in right now, which is pretty nice. You can go, for example, a Fake Out and a Thunder into the Kyogre, although equally Ethan can just Rage Powder. So you kind of have a very interesting dynamic here. If you go for the Fake Out into Kyogre and a Flash Cannon into the Amoonguss as the Amoonguss goes for Rage Powder, you're probably in a good spot. It is the Kyogre in the back. There's only so many Water Spouts that this Kyogre will have. We don't know if it's used any Water Spouts previously. If so, then it would need, then it only gets 4 Water Spouts basically because of the Dialga's pressure. 4 Water Spouts will easily be able to knock out this Kyogre from this range. But it's a matter of if you manage to hit the thing, like if, for example, if you went for a Fake Out and Thunder onto the Kyogre, as Amoonguss went for Spore, then you would be in a really good spot. But I imagine Ethan is probably not going to let him do that. I think you go for a Water Spout and a Rage Powder. Even, the worst case scenario is you Fake Out the Kyogre and Flash Cannon the Amoonguss, which really isn't even that bad. And we do see, that's what happens. We see the Fake Out and the Rage Powder. So respecting the ability to use Thunder here. I might use Thunder if I'm Josh, just see if we can catch Ethan off guard. And we do see the Thunder. A Thunder into Amoonguss also gives you the chance for the full paralysis, which I think is very reasonable. Doesn't do very much damage, does not get the full paralysis on the Amoonguss. So Amoonguss here is definitely going to go for another Rage Powder, and there's not really much that Josh can do. Although Dialga can take multiple Water Spouts, it's already too low. The Nature's Madnesses from Tapu Koko here really coming in clutch. Water Spout will be able to knock out the Incineroar from full as well, even if it is holding the Assault Vest. Only a Palshu Berry would allow it to survive this attack, and it's not, and I believe it crit the Dialga there. Yeah, it did crit the Dialga, but it did not matter as far as like the outcome of the game goes. There was no combination of moves that Josh could make that would take the game over Ethan. So well played by Ethan. Ethan advances to 2-0. This is a best of 1 Premier Challenge, so yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you for round 3.